So starting off with a student and a fresher, there are a lot of common points between them. I would strongly suggest that you do lots of internship as much as possible, especially if you're a student and you are in your first year or second year. By the time you reach your fourth year, you should target at least 2 data science internships. Now with that, let's get into the third theme, which is applying for machine learning roles. So we have tried to understand how the machine learning landscape has evolved over the years, how it has kind of changed in the past few years. We have tried to assess which are the must-have skills in a way, which will make you stand out as an applicant when you are applying and preparing your resume. Because if your resume and your experience says that you know all of these skills and technologies, then it really sets you apart. Okay. Now with all of that in play, let us understand how do we kind of apply for machine learning roles? How do we go about building a portfolio and build about a profile which will allow us to land that first job relatively easily. So let's start off with the immediate no-nos, and these are something that I had collated in one of my blog posts a few months ago, and this is coming from one of the internship roles that we had opened up, and also a full-time role, and we had close to only a couple of roles open for our team, and which is the full-time roles, and we received over 750 responses and resumes for those two roles. So you can imagine the kind of competition that exists for machine learning and strong machine learning roles in the industry. And all of these are collated from candidates' emails, and you'll realize that some of them seem very kind of trivial. So I have received emails from people whose username is TikTok videos, okay, or people who just attach their resume and don't even write anything in their email body or subject line, and or even just write a one-liner, or someone who just says "hey" and just drops in a resume, or someone who goes out and sends blank emails with putting me in BCC. You cannot be sending out spam to 100 different people and putting me in BCC out there. And so apart from that, it is kind of also very funny when you get resumes with very, very long content. I have received resumes up to 10 pages, but the ideal size of a resume for a fresher or student is 1 page at max. And if you are an experienced guy, then maximum 2 pages is the ideal size of a resume. Okay. And if you make too many grammatical mistakes, of course, English is not the first language for many of the people out there, which is perfectly understandable. But if you make too many grammatical mistakes and you don't proofread your resume, that's something which gets your resume rejected. Because understand that when I was reviewing 750 resumes and I went through each of them, and we only ended up giving an interview to about 50 of them as the first round, which means that I ended up rejecting 700 resumes, and I spent close to 4 hours reviewing all of them, which means that I hardly have a minute or so, even less than that, to review each resume. And the moment there are errors or glaring errors, I'm of course going to reject it without even giving it a serious look. So you have to get the first hurdle is be looking professional, writing a good email, writing a good subject line, writing with a proper polite tone, and having a properly formatted resume as a PDF, not a docx or text file, which some of the people also send out sometimes. As long as you come across as polite and professional, your resume will get a serious look. Okay. In this kind of slide, I have tried to collate everything at one place. Okay, I understand that there are multiple kinds of people out there who are looking for a switch into a machine learning domain. You may be a student, you may be a fresher, or you may be a lateral hire with current roles in data or software engineering and want to move into machine learning. Okay. Uh, so, and I have not tried to target people who are above 5 years because I have had experience with people who have more than 5 years of experience, but they are at a stage of their life where there are a lot of sacrifices that they have to make in terms of salary or in terms of anything else which they are not able to make, and it is very difficult for them as well. So I've not dealt with them at this point in time. I've just dealt with three target groups: student, fresher, and a lateral hire. Okay. So starting off with a student and a fresher, there are a lot of common points between them. I would strongly suggest that you do lots of internships. Okay, as much as possible, especially if you're a student and you're in your first year or second year. By the time you reach your fourth year, you should target at least 2 data science internships. Okay, before you complete your fourth year. Same for a fresher. As many internships. If you're in third year or in your fourth year, you should do at least 1 or 2 internships out there. Paid, unpaid, I don't have strong opinions on it, even though my company offers paid internships. But there are a lot of companies out there who do have unpaid internships for whatever reason. But they also offer strong learning and growth. So if you have opportunities to do internships, please go ahead and do it, as many as possible. Participate in hackathons, ML events. There are a lot of events organized on many platforms like Analytics Vidya, HackerRank, where you can participate. There are events which are organized by companies themselves as well, where you can participate. Participate in Google Summer of Code, where you can, it would combine as an internship and an experience as well, where you're closely working with an open source project on a machine learning problem or a software engineering problem. Okay. And of course, for freshers and lateral hires, you should try to build out as many portfolio projects as possible. We'll talk about portfolio projects in a while. But one thing that I have noticed in the industry over the years is that the focus now has gone from having certifications and having skills to demonstration of experience. Okay, to the point where most of the companies want to hire people with prior machine learning experience, and it's a chicken and egg situation, which I perfectly realize that if you want experience, you have to give experience, and you cannot have experience without giving experience, right? And that's a chicken and egg situation, which I perfectly understand. And that's the reason why I'm talking about having internships, having hackathons, having GSOCs, participating in meetups, conferences, participating in workshops in those conferences as a proxy for demonstrating that experience. Okay. The good machine learning roles require some kind of experience even at a fresher level. Okay. And you can improve your chances to get hired if you have that experience. Okay. Now, of course, for a student and fresher, you can increase your chances, as I mentioned, by doing projects and internships. But if you don't have strong grasp on ML fundamentals, which I mean by the algorithms and some of the skills like Python programming, like I mentioned earlier, then it is going to hit your chances very, very badly. Okay, and if you cannot explain the projects that you have worked upon, most of the interviews, they will try to dive deep into the project that you have worked on, try to talk about the algorithms that you have worked on those projects, try to talk about how did you go about doing EDA on those on the data, and then finally they would try to understand and get from you is how did you deploy and work, finish that project. Okay, so if you can't demonstrate that properly, then it really limits your chances. For lateral hires, along with this, there is another factor, okay, which is if you have very high salary expectations, you have to realize that you are switching an industry. Say, for example, you were a software engineer, okay, and you used to work on simple tech stack earlier, and now you're trying to move to machine learning oriented products and services, and you have high salary expectations as you were being paid in your previous company. But you have to realize that now you're starting off as a fresher in this domain, and many of the times having very high salary expectations, even to start off with, is going to limit your chances. You can always increase your salary by switching your jobs if you feel that you're underpaid after you have joined the first machine learning job. But always have that patience to stick it out for some time before you even go into the next pathways of machine learning. Okay. And of course, for lateral hires, if you build portfolio projects, write blogs around it, if you want to do a good course with a good capstone project out there, and there are a lot of companies offering short refresher courses on data science and machine learning with capstone projects, then you should go ahead and do it. You should participate in meetups and conferences, expose yourself to the community as much as possible. That's kind of the underlying theme for all the three target groups. Okay, the more you do it, the better it is. Okay. And if I was a hiring manager, again, as I said, I would focus on problem solving. I would focus on whether the person has strong machine learning concepts, strong programming knowledge. Does he have exposure to cloud? And most importantly, has he or she demonstrated expertise through anything, internship, blogs, portfolios, and of course asks intelligent questions about how I'm planning to build my own product during the interview process. Okay, which goes a long way when you can communicate very well, either through verbal or written modes. And for me, my ideal hire would check one or multiple of these boxes. Okay, but as I mentioned, I would always be looking for rigor of thought, and always be looking for people who have demonstrated strong skills around data and programming through internships, portfolio projects as well. Okay. Then after that, let's go about talking about how to build portfolio projects. Now, I thought to talk about it through content of my own, but one of the very strong blogs that I found, which was in my bookmarks, is from machinelearningmastery.com, and this is the link that you really want to read through to understand how to build portfolio projects. There is no better link that I have personally found, which gives you clear guidance on how to build a machine learning portfolio from a perspective of becoming better at machine learning, as well as becoming a better candidate for getting yourself hired. Okay, I personally haven't come across it, so my kind of recommendation would be please go through this link. But again, if I have to summarize this link, it just focuses on building which is complete and deployable. Okay, rather than demonstration of an algorithms. And one of the major focuses on building portfolio projects in the past has been, let me just build a quick notebook, let me do a quick sentiment classification, stock market prediction, print out the classification report of precision, recall F1 scores, and then just write about it, or just have that notebook. That used to be the standard definition of a project that has been completed. Okay, but that is not entirely true. Okay, let me demonstrate how you can make something complete. Okay, let me take the example of the classical sentiment classifier. And earlier, you would essentially pick up that IMDb data set, which is the standard one where you have 25,000 positive and 25,000 negative reviews. And you would classify it using random forest or XGBoost, what embeddings, LSTMs, and then simply kind of go about comparing them using the classification reports and the accuracy reports and the precision recall metrics. And that would be it, right? And that would then go on your resume saying, I have done sentiment classification using this XYZ algorithm. But now, for me, my definition of a portfolio project is slightly different. I would say, have you demonstrated that you can build think about algorithm, think about having a business outcome with that, and deploy it somewhere. Okay, and you could do it through this. Okay, uh, you have the same classical method, you do the same approaches, but now you go a few steps ahead, where you go ahead and deploy and build this algorithm as an API, either through Flask or Flask plus Docker, and you do it on the cloud. Okay, and once you're deployed it, you try to classify a few live data for a period. Okay, you can be classifying Twitter tweets for a brand. You can be classifying reviews for a brand, depending on which data set you're using, whether you're using the Twitter data set or whether you're using the IMDb data set. And you do it for a period. It can be 1 week, it can be 15 days or so. And then you prepare a final report summary outlining your findings. That, okay, hey, my model was able to predict these many reviews or these many tweets properly, and this is what people are thinking about this brand. Okay, and write that out as a report and a blog, and also try to debug and talk about why your model misclassified whichever it is. And you can pick up a few examples. It doesn't have to be super exhaustive, but at least it demonstrates that you have thought through this project end to end and you know the business use case of this, rather than just focusing on the algorithm. And if you want, you can go ahead and share this report with the brand via Twitter or email to demonstrate that expertise. Okay, but the more you talk about it, the more you market yourself through complete projects, the more you increase your chances of landing a good job. Okay, and the entire hiring process of machine learning is kind of broadly differs with major companies, but broadly, if you're going for internship, then it will be a 1 to 3 weeks kind of process. For a full time, it will be 2 to 5, and you will have multiple rounds of interviews. Okay, but realize that this period that I mentioned, 1 to 3 weeks for internships and 2 to 5 weeks for full time, the more time passes after the max limit that I mentioned here, 3 weeks and 5 weeks for for internship and full time respectively, the lesser your chances are to land an internship or a job. Okay, which means that you have to manage and plan accordingly when you're applying across the board and companies. Okay, and there will be multiple rounds focusing on technical expertise and coding, and of course a final HR round. Okay, and but having said that, did not join a job, even if you get it, if it satisfies one of the few kind of criteria. Okay, so if you're the first machine learning hire, if you're the first data scientist in the company, do not join. Okay, and the reason why I say so is with fair caution, which means that you have to be struggling alone to understand a lot of things, and you would not be able to do the best possible job that you can, which you would require to have a domain expert working with you, or a data engineer working with you, and you have to do too many things, and your entire machine learning endeavor will suffer. So if you are the first machine learning hire of a company, or if there is limited machine learning experience in that company, do not join that role. Okay, and if the interview experience does not match up with the job description, do not join. No data engineering team, do not join. If the team does not have a product that they are working on, if they have been doing too many POCs with no clear site of deployment, do not join. And of course, the final point is, if they do not have established or good software engineering practices, do not join. You do not want to get into a company where there are no good practices of doing and deploying machine learning. You are not going to be able to learn as much as you would like for the time that you invest in that role and company. Okay, and of course, if they offer too higher salary, do not join. Of course, high salary is good, but I'm talking about too high a salary, because and that is something that is going to be offered by startups and VC funded companies. And what will happen is, the moment there are going to be layoffs, your job is going to be first on the line. Okay, so do not join if that too high of a salary that is being offered. And you can always train for skills, you cannot train for attitude, and that is something I strongly believe. And focus on having a curious nature always, and understanding what kind of skills that are required, as I mentioned earlier. As long as you are able to talk about and work with them, you will kind of do well.